Howard asked me to share doing motherhood with Christ in my life. When Howard asked us to be involved and help out, we think so. Me, okay. We think so highly of him that I don't really like to say no. Like so many, this is not my comfortable place. I am the backup crew and behind the scenes sort of person. Firstly, I want to say Happy Mother's Day to everybody. This is a special time and I pray that you're blessed and hope that you can bless others as well. We are daughters, sisters, aunties, wives, and some who are truly blessed are grandparents. Also, we're sons, husbands and partners, and for some, it's a time on reflecting on special times and happy memories. For others, it's a difficult time. I want to share a little bit of my journey, and I hope that by sharing, I don't cause anyone pain or trigger unhappy memories. So this is a little bit of my story. When I was a young girl, my favourite and only aunt told me to pray that God would have someone very special for me. So over the years, I did. When I met Jim, who's asleep at the moment because he's doing night shift, I knew right from the start he was the one for me. We shared the same faith and we just wanted to be together. Now, motherhood. We suffered the loss of a miscarriage, which emotionally we found pretty tough. I still to this day take great comfort in being part of a friend's life who has a beautiful daughter from around the same time. When we found out I was expecting again, it was a time that we both remember as feeling elated and so thankful to God. We really put our trust in him. When I gave birth to our son, Jim named him Nathan, which means a gift of God. He had a rough time coming into this world and was blue and needed to be worked on when he was born. Our pastor, Steve Rowe, at the time was at the hospital and he saw Jim beaming, walking down the hallway and knew our baby had arrived. Nathan brought us great joy. I did find it very challenging, though, having a baby who didn't sleep and a husband who worked shift work and needed to. Sometime later, we braved it and had a daughter who also had a very difficult time coming into the world. My auntie never told me to pray for a husband with small shoulders. Yeah. We called her Anae, and during the birth, her shoulder and her arm was damaged. She had nerve damage from being manoeuvred during the birth. Her right arm just hung and her hand turned in slightly. It was a very difficult time for us all. We eventually found out that the damage was called Erb's palsy. I carried a lot of guilt because for the 9 months that she was inside me, she was undamaged. And many trips to the local country doctor, I spoke about C-section and he assured me things would be fine. I had a lot of trouble dealing with what happened. I later saw a specialist who told me to be thankful my baby was alive. He proceeded to tell me of tragic stories. Jim and I put our trust in God for healing. We would do physio exercises with Anae every time we changed her nappy, and we would pray over her. By 4 and 6 months, we began to have slight movement, and gradually we could see real change. Anae visited the John Hunter Hospital until she was 18 years old, seeing physiotherapists and occupational therapists, and still does exercises to keep movement in her shoulder and to try and reduce pain. Anae is amazing. She is so much like her dad, never complains, just gets on with things. We are very blessed. She is now an occupational therapist and she helps others. She's such a joy. Our son Nathan studied nuclear medicine and sonography and works in both sections in a large hospital. He shared a story with us that a lady had written to the hospital thanking Nathan as her husband had been very unwell and the doctor had requested a scan. He could not see anything abnormal, so he thought he would check a few other places and by doing so discovered a large mass. As a mum, I knew all the hard work he had put in and all the prayer that Jim and I had prayed for them over the years with exams and just with being the person that they have grown into. We are just so thankful. I had always struggled with believing that God really loves me. And by giving me these children, it was answered prayer, that I had to accept that God loved me and he trusted me with these little people. I now have a beautiful daughter-in-law who has just enriched our family, and I'm thankful that all my family members have come to know the Lord. Jim loves recalling a story that when we visited our daughter in Victoria, it was just such a beautiful time that she actually gave us communion and we're always included in her church families. As a mother, I'm far from perfect. I'm pretty hard on myself. I'm sure my kids could rattle off a list of irritants and bad mum stories. But I know they love me because they tell me. Throughout their lives, if they have had something on, we tell them, we are praying for them, and we read scriptures, and we just uphold them in prayer. We tell them we love them all the time. And when they're leaving from a visit, we just hug them and tell them we love them. I've heard many people say they've never heard their parents say that they love them. It's so important. My role as a mother-in-law keeps changing. As our children have grown and gotten busier and are more independent, two things never change. The love I have for them, and although they may not physically be in my life every day, they certainly are in my prayer life. I always wanted to be a mum, and I am truly blessed. May you also be blessed. Happy Mother's Day.